y'all? Welcome to the Mind of Greatness podcast. I know we ain't been on here in years, but we back again on the track again. Big Boss, K-Po, talk football. We talking the Texas Patriots. Post-game analysis, post-game reaction. We're going to start off by saying C.J. Stroud single-handedly lost the game for the Houston Texans. Right? Much respect to the England Patriots. They did what they're supposed to do. But C.J. Stroud single-handedly lost the game for the Houston Texans. Okay? He threw 4 interceptions in the first half. Let me say that again. In the first half, threw 4 interceptions. Never looked comfortable. Never ran. Never took any opportunities. He just yeah. So, for starters, let's start off early on in the game, right? C.J. Stroud doing pretty decent, right? But it was a couple of times he had running lanes to run, and he didn't take advantage of them early on, right? The one he threw the interception on, I don't know who he was throwing it to on that one. The one where Davis caught on the sideline and his knee was in bounds. I don't know who he was throwing it to. I don't know if he was trying to throw it out of bounds. I don't know what he was trying to do. I don't know why he threw that pass. He had a running lane to run. He didn't run. And that's what gets me about him. He doesn't run. It's like, dude, run. But he won't run. He'll sit there and hold on to the ball and then try to throw it. Everybody knows you don't run. How about you do the opposite of what people expect you to do? Right? He didn't. He refused to run. He refused. He stood in the pocket. Dude about to hit him. He tried to hurry up and throw it. Can't step into it. Interception. Right? Second interception. His fault again. Third interception. That's the one where Hutchinson, the pass bounced off his hands. That wasn't his fault, but at the same time, on that play, he had opportunity to run. The fourth interception had opportunity to run. Okay? Now, I want y'all to pay attention to something. Anytime the Patriots had to go drive the field to go score, right? They didn't score. All their points, I would say only maybe one drive. They scored, they drove the field and scored. But there was, other than that, a lot of their points were off turnovers. Right? The Texans wouldn't capitalize, or they'll get a turnover, and the England will get the ball back with momentum, and then they will go cash. While the Texans, when they got turnovers, when the defense, right, the number one defense in the league got turnovers, they got field goals, right? So at the end of the first half, the Texans was down only, 11, right? They came out in the second half. They drove the field. They got held to a field goal. So it was 21-13. Then it was 21-16, right? Then C.J. Stroud, again, start making mistakes. Happy feet, not running, not making play, not just doing unusual. Well, I won't say unusual because, I mean, you know, people been saying this about C.J. Stroud. We just refuse to see it. Just not taking what the defense gives him, right? Like, bro, the running lanes were there. You could have ran all night on them, right? The safeties were playing so aggressive, right? They were more physical than the offense, right? It's just, and I'm just talking about the New England Patriots defense was more physical than the offense, right? The offense, to me, was like, we hope we score a touchdown, right? We hope that we get an opportunity to score a touchdown. Whereas the Texans defense was like, y'all ain't scoring nothing. Y'all gonna have to earn everything y'all get over here. That's what it boils down to, right? And that's what I saw in the game. Okay? The Texans, we could talk about if and fifths all we want to, right? So I'm not gonna mention if they had this, if they had that. All I'm gonna say is the Texans offense did not show up. The defense showed up. The offense didn't show up, right? Which has been a problem all year for the Texans. The offense doesn't show up. The defense can only carry you for so long, right? And that's just what it boils down to. They ran out of gas, and New England was able to cash in on that play, right? In which it was a credible pass by Drake May and a great catch by Butte, in which he caught and went with one hand in the end zone, right? But it just goes to show you that offense of the Texans is not up to standard, right? You got a defense that's violent, that people fear, but they don't fear your offense, right? Because they know all I got to do is send pressure up to CJ. He going to fold. He going to give in. That's real talk. And that's what they did, right? So, I want to say, shout out to New England Patriots, man. Shout out to them, bro. I ain't got nothing to say, bro. Shout out to New England Patriots. Now, I will say this. New England Patriots are a good team, but they're not a great team. Right? They beat us fair and square. But it was mainly because of of C.J. Stroud. That's what it boils down to. Right? It's because of C.J. Stroud. You know what I mean? He's not good. You know what I mean? The message going into the game was, if C.J. Stroud don't turn the ball over, we got a chance. Everybody down here was saying that. If he don't turn the ball over, we got a chance. Because we know what our defense is going to do. Our defense is going to give us the ball. And they got us the ball many times. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't cash in on it. Right? So, what does DeMeco Ryans got to do next year? And I'm about to say some stuff that's controversial. But the Houston Texans, they got to look at removing C.J. Stroud. Okay? Here's why. He doesn't fit the culture that DeMeco Ryans is trying to build. C.J. Stroud is soft. Okay? We just going to be real. Our team is a physical team. C.J. Stroud's not physical. Right? He's not confrontational. He don't want none of that work. He don't want none of that smoke. He don't want none of that. Right? He don't want any of those he don't want any of that. What he want is for you to coddle him and say, good job. And let me tell you something. I'm a believer just like him. Right? I believe in my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Right? But when it's time to go to war, you got to be like Peter. Right? You got to be like Peter in the Bible. Okay? You can't be all meek and, oh, man. You're playing football. You're playing a violent game. Right? I shouldn't see on the sideline you sitting on the bench staring into space. You need to be demanding stuff from guys. You need to show leadership. I don't see that from C.J. Stroud. Every time they show him he's sitting on the bench, he's pouting. He's crying. And I'm just sorry. Like, as a leader, if I'm on your team and I'm looking at my leader and he ain't, you know, I can't ride with that. Right? The whole offensive side of the ball is soft. Besides two people, Nico Collins, Woody Marks. Dr. Schultz is intelligent. Right? I want to say he not soft either. But everybody else on the offensive line, they soft. The whole offensive line is soft. And no matter how much you scream at them, they're soft. They're not it. Right? And Nick Caserio, you got everything else right but this offensive line. You can't put a Band-Aid on the offensive line. You need to get some dogs. That's what it boils down to. You've had many times to get dogs in the draft. You refuse to get them. You refuse. So I just think that, man, when people look at this Texans team, the only thing people fear is the defense. They don't care about the offense. And if I'm on the offensive side of the ball, I take that personal. I'm just being real. DeMeco and Nick Caserio have to get rid of C.J. Stroud. They got to get rid of Davis Mills as well. Those two quarterbacks got to go. You got to get them out your... they don't fit the culture. Davis Mills don't fit the culture. Davis Mills be doing the same thing C.J. Stroud doing. We need a quarterback that's fiery. We need a quarterback that's going to demand and command the huddle. We also need a quarterback that's going to make guys better. Demand guys to be better. We don't need a guy that's going to sit there, hey, guys, come on, let's go. We don't need that, okay? In order for the Texans to go to the next step, you have to push these guys and develop these guys to be great. And I don't think they're doing that on the offensive side of the ball. So if I'm D'Amico, I get rid of all the offensive staff. The receivers coach, you got to go too. I know that they got a special handshake with him. You got to go. You got Xavier Hutchinson, he dropping passes. Hey, man, you got to go. That's what it boils down to. Sayonara, bye. You got to go. Right? So I just think that, like, this team, in order for them to take that next step, in which we've never been to an AFC Championship, right? We want to win a Super Bowl. We have to make our offense better, right? There has to be some balance, and there's no balance on this offense. It's just mediocre. It's just mediocre football play. So I think that to get back on topic, I will remove C.J. Stroud. I will trade him. I ain't gonna lie. I would even explore bringing back Deshaun Watson, because they ran the same offense, right? And I get it. It was kind of an emotional decision to remove Deshaun Watson. He wanted out, and look at the team we've built with just removing him, right? But now it's like we're right there. We need a guy that's going to get us over the hump, and C.J. Stroud is not that guy. That's just my opinion. Right? He's not that guy that can get us over the hump. I think C.J. Stroud is a great guy. Like, just as far as just being a believer, I think he's a great guy. I think he's has some talent, but the talent ain't matching the IQ. So, and with this defense that we have, we had the best defense in the NFL. I just want y'all to understand that, bro. Our defense was, I don't know if we'll be able to, like, reciprocate that again. Like, I don't know if we'll be able to repeat that, right? But we got to figure some things out as it pertains to on the offensive side of the ball. Mainly C.J. Stroud. We got to get him out of here, bro. I think he's a good person. I think he's a God-fearing brother. But, at the end of the day, you got to make decisions that mainly that's going to be uncomfortable, right? You're the head coach of the Houston Texans. You're going to have to make a decision that is uncomfortable, and that's one of the decisions. You also got to look at, do I bring back Nick Caley, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody in the offense, besides Nico Collins and the rookies, right? Like Woody Marks, Irsay, Higgins and Noel. Everybody else on the offense is questionable. And they wouldn't be off the table to be traded or moved, right? We got to get that guy, bro, that can get us over the hump. And I just think that D'Amico, if he don't make a decision and make the right decision, he will no longer be the coach of the Houston Texans. Y'all let me know what y'all think. First come.